You're welcome. Um, what was I going to say? Did everybody watch it or no? Yay. Magda, you got to go watch that video that I posted. If you didn't watch the video, go watch it. It's from Pharrell, and it's called Entrepreneur. It's so inspiring. It has so many stories of entrepreneurs in there, and cameos of different people that have started businesses and took a chance on themselves. Yes, it's very powerful, Marissa. I've listened to it probably like 10 times today, over and over and over again. And I think that, Leah, I loved your post today. You talked about music, how you don't realize how music can inspire you, right? And how music can just lift you up and change our spirits and motivate us to take action too, right? The power of music. And this is why I like to bring it to this group and even to Powerhouse or different things that I'm doing, is because I know how it makes me feel, so I can imagine how it makes all of you feel. So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully enjoyed some of the music that I played today. I was playing some music. Some of you guys came in late, but I was playing music as people were entering, but it stopped. But anyway, music is powerful. My dad's sister are musicians. Oh, okay, they are. What do they play, or do they sing?
My dad plays. He's self-taught since he was 9 years old. He plays guitar, piano, bass, does some singing, and then my sister picked up guitar as well.
Oh, and what happened to you? How come you didn't pick up anything?
My talents are different.
You weren't feeling it? It wasn't your time?
He tried to kind of put it on me and like make me do piano, and like even to this day he's like, harmonize with me, and then he gets mad at me because I don't do it right, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, that wasn't my talent. But
right.
Yeah, a lot of people ask because I enjoy different types of music, and they're like, it's so random, you listen to classical. But I just grew up with the appreciation of all music except death metal. I can't get with that.
Can't get with that one? All right, cool. All right, so just to review what we went over mental law on day 1, right? So we did our dream life, our visualization, and hopefully you guys go through that in your head and do it every so often so you can remember what you're striving for, right? Where you're going, and how we turn thoughts into things, you know, what seeds we've planted, right? And how we can build upon those seeds and how they grow, right? How much fertilizer are we giving it? How much attention are we watering those seeds that we are planting, those the good seeds, and then getting rid of all those other seeds that have been planted in our heads that don't serve us, right? That are no good, that are lies, that are things that we've been taught, that have grown into full-grown plants and trees that we have to uproot and get out of there. So we talk about mind culture, mind customs, mental atmosphere, right? What would a millionaire do? Making millionaire decisions, starting to act like one, right? Starting to act like you have it already, and that your business is successful already. It really makes a huge difference. So day 2, observational cycle of circumstance. So enlightenment, right? That's what we're getting here. We're getting just a whole lot of enlightenment, having revelations, doing some real soul searching on why we think and why we act and why we do certain things, right? Understanding your true value, right? We talked about just having, having all these gifts inside of us and not using them, right? Doing a disservice to not only ourselves, but to the people who need us, right? The more that we don't do it, people are out there waiting for us. And if we don't do it, then they miss out on your gift, right? Imagine if you didn't start, those people that need you, those people that you're going to help. The reconstruction process, right? How do we get rid of all that stuff and then rebuild our mental state and our mindset to really think and act how we should in order to grow? Right? We talked about the magnifying glass, what we focus that magnifying glass, and what will ignite and burn if we focus that magnifying glass on that. Living in our own psychological timing, right? Mental reflecting on past memories that are affecting our everyday and our mindset. Mental projecting, how we're projecting our thoughts and our feelings on everybody else, or what people are going to think about your product or your service or what you're providing. So all that projecting, we have to catch it, We have to catch the stuff and switch it. We have to dump it, right? We have to stop and we have to control it. So just like if we were exercising our body, we're exercising our minds and changing the way we see things. And stop being a victim of our past, right? And start thinking of the present and how we're going to act. The 4 T's of personal magnetism, and really what that has to do with our, we know how we act. We know how we got to present ourselves, how we have to treat people, right? And our timing, all that are thoughts, right? All that are actions from thoughts. So we have to control that as well. And today we're in day 5, law of abundance. So 1, we must become more to have more. 2, we must develop money consciousness. 3, we got to train our eyes to see plenty and not see lack, not see nothing, see plenty all the time. 4, living a life and running your business in abundance. So we're going to go over all these 4 things today. Anybody have any questions, comments? I don't know why I'm so hot right now. The air just turned on too, and I turned the window on. Hot. Everybody good? I put the camera on today and I can't, I'm sorry, I should have gave you guys a heads up because my bad. But I wanted to see some of your smiling faces, so I'm glad I'm able to see some of you. And then we're going to go over our mental constitution, our new mantra for ourselves. All right, I'm excited about that. Going over that. What are you guys saying? Let's see. Marissa, the individuals they were featured in the video were phenomenal. I was blown away with the gourmet popcorn family, the graphic artist, the filmmaker, the midwife. I know they had a wide variety of entrepreneurs on there. And Melody was just talking about, some of you guys came in late, but that a woman that got funded by Jay-Z, she had 86 investors tell her no until she met Jay-Z and he invested in her. So that's like the little engine that could, right? Just keep going, keep going. You never know. You never know. A lot of people give up on one. They probably would have given up on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 investors, even one. Some people just give up. They think like one person turns them down or one person says no to their product or service and doesn't buy. Then they get completely discouraged, and they hide and they crawl under a rock and never come again. Or if somebody says no to your proposal or ignores your proposal, we just hide again, right? There's somebody out there for all of us. There is a customer out there. There is a business to work with. There's people that need us. It's not going to be everybody. Everybody is not going to need us. Yes, so Erica said the midwife, like the husband in Acrimony movie. I don't even know what that movie is. But yeah, that midwife story, I mean, all these people that had ideas and they took action on their ideas and they just did it, right? We get stuck. We feel like we need money. I need investors. I need all that. But when you are like so determined, you find a way. And I remember when I started my business, some of you know the story, some of you don't. Some of you even know my husband. But when I started my business, I was like, okay, how am I going to tell him that I'm not going to go back to work? I want to start my business. And I talked to him and, he was like, my husband's a worker bee. My husband will work all the time. And, he just loves his job. And he was like, okay, well, we'll give you 3 months. And I was like, 3 months? I'm like, I didn't know at that time that it takes a whole lot longer to build a business than 3 months. But I was like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen. But I didn't say, let's dip into any money or anything. I was just determined to do it myself because I had to prove that I can do it. And so I went to this program called Kiva.org, and I'm gonna share it with all of you. Anybody familiar with this organization? Kiva.org. So they fund women businesses. They help you fund and invest in your business. And they are, so it's like a loan. It's a zero interest, or less than 1% interest. It's like a loan in a way. But they have people that will invest in it quickly. So they have all these investors. So they give you the money and then you pay it back. And you have a long time to pay it back and it's no interest. And I was like, I need some money to start my business. I need something like for marketing, to pay my assistant. I need all this different types of money. And I was able to raise $8,000-9,000 in a couple weeks. And I didn't care. Like I didn't care. I put some stuff on credit cards. Like I knew that I was going to make it back. I just believed, right? And part of that is our mindset, to believe in our dream and believe in our gift. Really, really believe and understand that gift that we have inside of us will make that money back that you invest by any means necessary. Right? I was thinking like that early on, but it helped with having more coaches to help me to own it a little bit more. But it was definitely something I had to, it was like, I was relentless. So Kiva was very helpful with that. There's a lot of kickstarting programs like Kickstarters that will help you. A lot of people are scared. So I've offered this Kiva to several people, and not a lot of people have taken advantage of it. And I try to tell people, it's like, you know, you have to be relentless. I had to upload videos and documents, and I had to make a video to talk about, to pitch it. All that stuff. I had to get 25 people of my own people to invest first before it went on the platform with all the investors. I had to get 25 people. So I made it happen, right? So when you're relentless and you're like, by any means necessary, you make it happen, right? You have to just get to a point where you make a decision. You make a decision. It's just a decision. Like I'm doing this by any means necessary. I'm going to make it happen and make it happen. And if I can do it, all of you ladies can do it. All of you ladies can have $30,000, $40,000 months. I never thought, I'm telling you, I don't have $30,000, $40,000 months all the time, but I've had those months. I've had those where I just can't believe it. I can't even believe it, but it's possible to make unlimited amounts of money that you want to make. So then you can do all the things that you want to do with your life, right? So we have to, this is the mental, because the only thing that's in our way is going on in our heads. That's the only thing. This is why this program is so important to me, to do this program and making sure that it was available for powerhouses. So some of you ladies aren't powerhouses, some are powerhouses. Monique coming on the last day. Some of you are powerhouses, but I offered it to all the powerhouses that have graduated from Powerhouse Academy to be here. Because it's necessary for them to have this tool in their toolbox. So let's get started. Hey, Monique, welcome.
Hey.
Welcome to the last day.
Right. Don't, Chandra, don't kill me.
I love you.
I have my grandbabies though, and so now my grandbaby is gone. So
okay,
she keeps up so much of my attention. Yeah. So I just realized the time. I'm like, oh, it's 7:30. They say it's an hour. Let me get in on this last day.
Yes, and you guys will have all the videos, so it's all good. You guys will have the videos to watch in Powerhouse Academy. So anyway, let me go right into it. We're talking about law of abundance today. Okay. So just give me a second and we'll get started. It's a lot of me talking and listening, and you guys listening, taking notes, and then we'll take little breaks in between.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the law of abundance, right? You cannot get a clear vision of wealth if you are constantly giving your attention to the opposing picture of poverty, right? Feeling broke, talking broke, and brokenness can only lead to one thing by law, and that is poverty. Poverty is a disease of the mind and spirit, and just like most diseases, it can be cured, right, with the right vaccines or the right antidote. The method of accomplishing a money consciousness is by the persistent practice of a few fundamental principles of thought, right? So the law of abundance will be the topic of our discussion today. A person can change herself, improve herself, control her environment, and master her destiny. In the conclusion of every person who has awakened within themselves the power of the right thought and constructive action. Growth follows knowledge, action follows inspiration, opportunity follows perception, but always, absolutely always, the spiritual comes first. In this context, of the word, I am not referring to a religious denomination. I'm speaking on the realm of abstract ideas. We are surrounded by a universal mind into which we think. It is in us as well as around us and is responsible for the foundation upon which the nature of all things rests. As we think into this universal mind, we set a law in motion, which is creative and which contains within itself a limitless possibility. We have already pointed out the effects of this truth through all the unsavory experiences we've shared that we pointed out as a result of our mind, culture, and customs being in the wrong place. What I'm here to do today is to teach you the proper way to set in the motion of the law of abundance in your life through correct thought, belief, and identifying yourself with the abundance that has provisioned the earth since the beginning of time, instead of financial limits of our circumstance. So there is no doubt, due to the fact that our knowledge in regards to prospering has largely remained partial and incomplete, that ignorance has been allowed to prevail in our consciousness through many years of false facts, false beliefs, and false ideas, all given to us by a slave-minded culture designed to keep us in our place as women and people of color. The two great sources of human suffering at present are bodily disease and mental anxiety, and that anxiety is a very large degree caused by the lack or need of money. As I pointed out earlier this week, the one thing that hinders many women from developing a wealth consciousness is their reluctance to stop mentally and emotionally to their situations. Circumstances, situations, environment, and conditions must cease in being spiritual, mental, and emotional guideline of our being. So like we talked about, throughout the week, how we got to push the wrong people, push the wrong environment, push anything negative in our lives, push the negative mindset, the work in our head, push it out, right? So we can reprogram it. But also anything that's not serving us well, right? It could be a job too. It could be a boss. It could be anybody in our lives that doesn't help us grow, right? Doesn't help us build a more aware mindset that will have us living in a law of abundance, right? That'll prevent us from that. So are we really paying attention to what our circle of friends looks like, right? All those things that we talked about, we have to push. We got to do the work in order to make it happen. So let's take a practical approach to these phenomenal realizations. What makes me know and believe that abundance is a universal law? Well, take a look around you, right? Take in just how much of everything there is. Can you imagine the number of grains of sand on the seashore? How about the number of stars in the sky? How many of you can guess the number of hairs on your head or cells in your body? The number of trees in a forest or the count of leaves on those trees? How about the number of ants living in an anthill or the amount of people in Japan? All of these great numbers have been abundantly replenished since the beginning of time, and that has not changed because it is according to the set, immutable law of nature. Nature does not suffer from poverty, only man does. Man suffers because poverty is a creation of his own mind as a result of a greedy man in power. There is untold treasures in the earth yet to be discovered. The very air radiates with energy that if harvested would equate to unheard of riches of energy and PG&E bills. What we must do to rewrite our mental constitution to enact the law of abundance in our lives are three things. We got three things here, okay? Anybody want to say anything on what we just talked about, like the nature, right? And it's so true, right? The leaves replenish themselves. Sand never goes away. You probably go dig sand and then more sand is going to come, right? Nature lives in abundance. Only man, we live in poverty. We think in poverty. We think in lack constantly. But if we looked around us, everything just comes back. We have plenty of water, right? We have plenty of sand. We have plenty of leaves. We have plenty more people, right? It's there. It's abundant. So we have to start looking at that in everything, in every way. All right, so there's 3 things that I want you guys to start working on, right? So we got to change our viewpoint from what place mentally, emotionally, spiritually, even physically, how we look at life. Forget where society has placed you. Forget where your parents have placed you, or your husbands and boyfriends have placed you. But where have you placed yourself? Where is your viewpoint? Is it from the penthouse, which allows you to see a vast views of things, or the ground level of life that's so close to the curb that you can't see anything but what's around you, right? So are you looking from the penthouse and everything that's available to you, or sitting on the curb only seeing what's in front of you? How are you viewing? How are you going to start viewing life? And I want all of us to start viewing life from the penthouse view. 2, your judgments. From what place do they come? Are you judging life from the perspective of one who is powerful and capable, or one who is victimized and oppressed? A wealth consciousness does not require you to have $1 million in the bank. People acquire wealth by acting bravely without fear on their ideas. But if you are unconscious of this mental, spiritual realm of limitless potential, you cannot withdraw from the wealth of ideas stored there. Do you guys hear that? But if you are unconscious of this mental, spiritual realm of limitless potential, you cannot withdraw, like the ATM, from the wealth of ideas stored there. Wealth of, not only wealth of ideas, but your wealth of gifts that you have. You're not going to be able to withdraw those gifts and those ideas until you start thinking in that way, right? Unless you break this down and you start living in the spiritual realm of limitless potential. You guys hearing me? Knowledge, and most importantly, a proper understanding of that knowledge, unfolds greater possibilities of attainment and increase. Again, I can't say this enough. We attract to ourselves that which is like our thought. Whatever we think, we're attracting. We're calling it in. Women must become more within themselves to draw a greater good into their life. The mold for the life we should have must be provided by our realizations, and until there is an increase in the mind, there will be no increase in the purse. That's a mic drop right there, right? The mic drop. I'm preaching. I didn't even know I was preaching today. The greatest step towards prosperity is the investment you ladies are already making in yourselves. So just taking the step, and that's all of you who've invested in Powerhouse Academy, because you were able to come in here and get this as a gift to the women who invested in this directly for the first time. This could have been your first time you invested in yourself, right? And I'm proud of you for doing that. You're already on your path to abundance and growing and living in your gift and changing your mindset. Because I know it was like hard to pull that trigger, right? Like when you've never invested in yourself to develop for you, right? For personal development, professional development, it can be tough. It can be tough.
Right.
So 3, initiative. What exactly has your approach to business and success been? You must put your best foot forward, your best personality, your best etiquette, right where you are today in the midst of your current situations and circumstances. Begin to picture yourself as having instead of seeing yourself as a have-not. Take the mental initiative of seeing yourself with instead of without. Take the initiative to put an end to handcuffing yourself to mediocrity through a use of words and thoughts. We all do that to ourselves. We handcuff ourselves to mediocrity, right? Because it's safe and because it's warm and it's cushy and we're used to it. We're used to it. We're all used to it. If you're not living in your gift, you're living in mediocrity. If you're not living in your gift, you're living in that comfort zone that we talked about. You're living in that zone of excellence. It's still mediocre to you, to what God had for you already, what God has for you already. That's mediocre. To some people, it's great, right? Before Powerhouse Academy, I was great. I was good, living in my zone of excellence. I had awards. Like, what else could you want, Chandra? You have all this stuff, like a great job, and what else could you want? A lot of people think like that, right? But to women like you, to women that work with me and that are attracted to work with me, there's far more greater for you, far more greater for you. So, and thoughts that can only equate to a life of struggle and poverty. The language of longing is not the language of wealth. Use words of plenty, words of bounty and abundance. Learn to take the initiative to determine your thoughts, your beliefs, and your words that shape your reality. Maintain an unwavering awareness by affirming your goals with confidence and conviction. Our being aligns itself with our truest intention, and goals become manifested. Become it by being it. Be it by saying it. If you do as I tell you, what once seemed impossible will now seem inevitable. And it's so true. We have to speak it. You know, people say, oh, speak it and you'll achieve it. Speak it and you believe it. But this is so true. But you have to practice it. You have to constantly do it. You have to live in it. You have to live in it. And what I'm really seeing is just me constantly living in this. Since I've been growing my business, I have had to live like this. I didn't even realize I was living like this until I had these conversations with the team that helped me create this program. I was sharing my experiences as we created this stuff. So I guess I'm relating to it a lot because this is me, right? Having to change the way I thought. And I didn't even realize as I was growing and I was developing into a person that lived in abundance. And the more I lived in abundance, the more I attracted clients, right? The more I attracted business, the more I attracted partnerships, the more I just attracted just seeing on a platform at a bigger level, right? And where people seeing like, wow, you know, the Powerhouse Academy. To me, some people think like, oh my God, Powerhouse Academy. And me, I'm like, it's just Chandra. The Powerhouse Academy is me. That's me. But I created it, right? I created it and feeling proud that I created it. And I want all of you to feel the same way about your thing that you're creating and what you're building, right? God wouldn't have given it to you if it wasn't for you. That wouldn't be there. That wouldn't be sitting in your gut constantly. And, you know, I'm going to move off of my screen because I can't see all of your faces. But Danielle, I'm going to pick on you a little bit. I watched your video in our group today. And, you know, I know I was commenting in there and I said, you know, share this story, right? The story that you shared about your son and about other families that you've seen go through struggle and lose a child, right? Stories connect. When you share your story, that connects with other people and people see you as authentic. People see you as, what, you know, she has passion behind it. I want to work with her because she has passion and there's a purpose behind her business. Share your story. Share it because it's there. You have a story. It's so crazy how when you have a business, there's always a story behind it. There's a passion behind it. When you're really living in your purpose, there's a story. There's a reason why you wanted it. There's a reason that aligned where God, that alignment came, where God gave you that gift. He put you in the right place with everything you need to make it happen. He put you in those classes. He put you in that job. He put you in that training. He put you in here, right? Wherever, in Powerhouse Academy, wherever. He put you in all these places on purpose. On purpose. Everything that lined you up to where you're starting your business, where you were working at that place. Like I think about it too, like all the places I worked in management, it taught me really how to delegate in my business now, right? It prepared me how to handle multiple team members and really give specific jobs to people and know how to manage a team. That helped me, right? And then also where I work with nonprofit organizations and systems and different things, that all prepared me to be a consultant in my business, to be able to consult other organizations. Like everything aligned for you to be where you are today. And it's not by accident. So you're either going to live it out or you're going to hold it inside of you. And hopefully all the mindset work and all the mental reconstruction that we did this week, it's going to help you live in your gift a little stronger than you have, right? And own it, have the belief and the confidence more than you ever have before. Instead of holding those gifts and those riches inside of you, those riches, that money, like that lady, right, had all that money inside that she had from her husband, who left her that, left her that big egg of money, and she didn't do nothing with it. Are you going to be her? You're not going to be her, right? You're going to say, oh, I got $100 million. I'm going to utilize it. Your gift is that $100 million. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to share your gift with the world and not be shy and not feel like everybody else is doing it, or I don't have enough money, I don't have this? That's all lack talk, right? We got to change the way we speak. We got to change the words that come out of our mouth. What did you say? Yeah. What if your story includes more of a trauma and abuse? How does it help your business in my profession? Well, you don't necessarily have to use your story of trauma. That's not your story, though. I mean, like, there's always a story that connects to your business. There's a reason why you went into insurance, right, Yesenia? It wasn't because of trauma and abuse. There's a story behind it. How did you land there? Yeah, you want to help others, but why did you want to help others? What did you see? What did you see? What was the need? Why did you do that? It's probably very similar to what Danielle said. It's necessary, right? When people sell insurance, I'm like, I don't know why these people are on marketing like crazy, because when I see families outside collecting money for funerals, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when they don't even realize it doesn't cost that much money, right, to invest in life insurance. But we don't know what we don't know, especially communities of color. We don't know what we don't know. So how am I supposed to, if we don't know, like, how are we supposed to know that if we pay $10, $12 a month that we can have life insurance, so then we're not stressed out if something was to happen to a family member? Sharing these things, sharing these thoughts that you have, that you're not saying out loud. This is how you need to be marketing. We need to talk to our people and tell them, let's wake up. Let's wake up. There's a different angle that you can go about it, right? There's always space for you. There's always space for you to come at a different angle than what everybody else is doing, right? Everybody else is doing it. They're just trying to build their network, sell more insurance. But like, give me the why, right? Give me the passion behind that. People buy from that. People want to see that. People want to hear your story. What did she say?
Chandra.
Yes.
This is Danielle. I just wanted to comment on that.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, completing the exercise yesterday. I was real quiet yesterday, and I apologize to everybody. I swear I had Rona. I swear I had it. I had the chills. I was in bed. I was like, no, but I guess it was, I don't know what it was. So I was on the call, but I just wasn't participating.
Okay.
But I took what you said and I made the video, and I laugh at myself because it was like take 250 before I got to what I wanted.
Yeah.
I cried, and I was like, okay, can't do that. So I had to go fix myself up. I did everything. I went through every emotion, and I didn't have a script. And so it was like every take was something different, but that final one, it came out. But from that, I put it out there, and I had my daughter put it on Instagram, because I am not social media savvy at all.
Yeah.
And from that, my daughter goes to North Carolina A&T. Now they want me to speak, not the entire university, but the athletic portion. She goes for softball. They want me to speak, but they also wanted to, now the girls are all in different majors, and they want to intern to help because they believe in the same thing. So it was really not what I was expecting from the video, but I now went to a different avenue because now I'm doing the educating, and then they want to help promote, market, do the media part of it. And I was like, hey, if it gets you a grade and we can do it. So it was something very awesome, but just like a different avenue.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. See, just one video.
Right.
One video can change everything. Right.
Right.
One step. And that was just one step that you took because because of your mindset has changed a little bit. Like, like if I really want to start this business, I just got to put myself out there. And your story is just very touching, when I was listening to it. And, I know parts of it, but not all of it. But I'm just like, if you shared that with people, they're really going to react to it. And they reacted to it for sure, where they want you to come speak. That's amazing. Did. Congratulations.
Thank you. This is all from just this week. And the one thing I do want to say is I put it out there too, because when I put it out there, it's a reality. Now I can't take it back. I just put it out there. And so now it's like, okay, now it's actually an accountability tactic for me to continue moving forward with my business, not to fall back into, because the day's hard, to fall back into, I'm secure with my corporate job, and I could just easily fall back into that and never go forward. Now that it's out there, I have to now push myself even further. So amazing from just the 5 days. Amazing.
Yeah. Good. Congratulations. I'm glad. I'm so happy for all of you that have pushed yourself just a little further. And every baby step, just even the step that Tisha talked about, just putting expert next to her name, that's growth right there. Like claiming to be an expert, because that means your confidence is building, right? In everything. So thank you, Danielle, for sharing that. Anybody else want to share anything that they felt they stretched themselves this week? Anything. Don't think it's too minimal.
Oh, I did my course. I recorded my first week in my course, and all thanks to coming to your house and really being able to map that out. So and I recorded 2 and 3. So I'm in the process of editing video 2 and 3. But you know what? After just listening to this little 30 minutes of what you just talked about, now I feel like I need to re-record it and go back to listen to everything that you said.
Add a bonus. Just add a bonus video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's just like on point. Because with the first 2 weeks, broken mindset and the imposter syndrome. So So I'm excited. So I definitely pushed myself to get my course complete. I'm getting it complete this week, though.
Yeah. Yes, Monique. Thank you. Monique wrote a book on mindset, so she has a pretty strong mindset, but she can get stuck just like me. Like all of us are. We can write about it. We can teach a course on it. We can teach a class on it. But it's still a struggle. It's still an everyday struggle, right, Monique, to get to that point. Well, you're never perfect. You're never going to have a perfect mindset and mental law in your head. Thinking about it, we're reprogramming years, right? Right. How old we are. we're programming decades.
Yeah, because every day life is happening, right? Every day somebody is disappointing us, or our expectations aren't being met. It's always something with somebody. So then here it go, or the battle of the mind, and we have to switch up our thinking. Yeah. So you're absolutely right.
It's a definite battle every day. Yesenia said, I struggle with referring to myself as an expert. When I'm referred as an expert by others, I freeze. It's definitely mindset work and restructuring subconscious. Yes. So yes. So you are an expert, right? You are an expert. Just own it. Be it. Yesenia, be it. Remember, like, all of the accomplishments that you've had. Remember, you were telling us, like, the things you've accomplished at such a young age, right? You have to remind yourself. But it's this reprogramming work that we have to do, right? And when you do it, like when you finally write it down, like Tisha did, write it down in front of you. Remember how we used to do lines, like when we get in trouble on the chalkboard? I am an insurance expert. I am an insurance expert. I am an insurance expert. I am an expert chef. I am an expert chef. I mean, like, do it just to like program your head that it's there and that you are that. You are that. We have to constantly hear it, but we have to do it first too. We have to take that step. So next time you introduce yourself to somebody, I want you to say, hi, I'm Yesenia and Rivera, and I am an insurance expert. Nice to meet you. Let that come out of your mouth. Let that flow out of your mouth, okay? Erica wants to know when your course is going to be complete, Mo.
It's going to be complete this week because, Erica, you know how I'm like a move quick person, but I'm not launching it until October 3rd, till my birthday. So I'm going to do a lot of promoting because this is a high-end course, so it's going to cost $977. So I need to I need to attract those type of clients.
Nice.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to share anything? Mia, how are you doing, Mia? I had to see your face today.
Yeah,
Hi.
but I'm okay. I'm at the emergency room. That's why I'm kind of quiet. But
Oh,
my fiance, yeah, I had to bring him his knee.
oh,
So
okay. And you
yeah,
can't go in there, huh? Nobody can go
I'm
in
in
with
the
you.
car with my notebook.
Okay. How are you doing
Yeah.
this week? How was this week for you?
As far as mindset, I just feel like I'm on a path now because God know how I need to move in order to get where I'm going. And I think mindset for me is the perfect beginning.
Yes.
And so I'm where I'm supposed to be. And it was a very powerful peel back some layers, think about a lot of things, and really changed mindset. Like, it's happening and I can feel it.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just excited about what the next step is.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. No, I that's great. And like I said earlier, you might not know right away until you get put in situations where you have to make a decision,
yeah,
right? When you have to make a decision on your business or taking a chance on yourself or something, you're not going to know until then, right? Just like
right.
Danielle made a decision to do the live, and they reached out to her for speaking, and she could have said, sorry, I'm not ready for that yet. I've seen people do that. No, say no or not respond, right? But she's had to make some decisions, and it's because of a stronger mindset and belief now for her to make some strong decisions that are going to move her business in the right direction. Joy, I have it all in my mind, but just need to feel confident delivering the message. So you're talking about with your program, Joy?
Well, yeah, just with just like in general, the information that I have that I want to share with, like the program for sure. Just knowing, feeling confident, going, okay, making it make sense and flow naturally without like it all broken up. And I want to feel comfortable and confident. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And that will happen within time. And sometimes, like I've had even my own coaches tell me, I'd be like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to deliver this. I got to break it down and I got to bullet points and all this stuff. And they're like, calm down, Chandra. This is inside of you. It's already inside of you. It's all inside of you. You know this stuff like the back of your hand. You know this stuff, you know this stuff, you know this stuff. So it will flow, right? Before you know, it's just going to come out. It's going to flow and you'll be fine. And you're going to be like, oh, that was easier than I thought. When it's inside of you, when you're being fake and phony and you really don't know, like you're just teaching something you don't know, then people can tell, right? People can tell. It won't naturally flow. Right. It won't be there. So, you have everything inside of you. You're going to be just fine. And when you're teaching a course or doing a program, you're going to overthink, right? You're going to overthink every little small detail, but it'll work out, especially when it's your gift. It'll just flow.
Can I mention something?
Yes.
Just to echo all of that. When I first started teaching yoga, I was used to, speaking in meetings and presentations, things like that. But when I started teaching and the focus was on me, looking to guide folks, and then in their bodies, just, heartbeat, just nervous. To echo what Chandra said, like when you know it, because you're living it, you've had the experience, you're living your passion, it really does come up and out. Your bullet points are just so that you stay on topic, because you could probably talk about it for hours. It's really, truly, think about it as you've been privy to this information that is gonna change people's lives. And you don't want to be selfish in holding that in. The gift, the blessing is that you are the messenger to share. And the bonus is the abundance that you get from it, whether that be spiritual, financial, whatever that we're working through this week. But it is this beautiful gift that God blessed you with. And how dare you not share it?
How dare you? Exactly. How dare you not share it?
Even if you're nervous and sweating and throw up before you go in to do it.
Right.
I
Right.
loved what you started off this week. Just like step into your fear.
Yeah. hmm And we have to live on that edge of fear in order, I think some of the women in here can really attest to that. I remember when I started working with Tisha, because you're just in my face right now, so I'm seeing you. Tisha was like, I seen Tisha, her name said Tisha, Chef Tisha, but I never seen nothing about cooking or nothing about nothing on her social media. And I was like, she's liking all my stuff. She's an ambitious woman because she's liking and following me and all this stuff. And I reached out to her and I was like, you need to join my Powerhouse Academy. And she was like, I do? She was like, I do. I'm like, yeah, you do. But then since then, like has a cookbook. She has a YouTube channel, cooking, right? She's just done all these amazing things by living on the edge of fear and being pushed, right? Being pushed and then challenging herself and coaching her, getting coaching and support and being coachable too. Being coachable, that's important, to be coachable, right? Not thinking that we know everything and knowing that we need help and support. So I'm just proud of you, Tisha. I know somebody brought up, fear, but yeah, living on the edge of fear, that's definitely something you have been doing. Do you want to share anything about that?
Yeah, I just think that as I'm listening to everyone all this week, I can identify that it's like deep seated inside of you. And I can't remember who said it, but someone said you said it, either live it out or you keep it inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
And, for me, it was so deep seated, like I was like hardwired to succeed. And there was nothing else but you don't always know where to go, right? So
Yeah.
You think you know something, and it was, slow. And I remember our first conversation, I didn't really have any reason to say no. I mean, the financial, and then you said something like, why not? And I was like, yeah, why not? And so, I made it happen. You were flexible. And the other thing you said was you needed to take a chance on yourself. And at that point, I had been married. I'm still married, but been married for a couple of years. So I was trying to pay attention to my husband, and everybody else got the attention except for me and my business. And now, people are hard pressed in this household to get me to cook for them because I'm doing other stuff.
Exactly. And I'm so glad you took a chance on yourself.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm glad you did. Sure. I'm sure you're happy that you did as well.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm glad that we connected. I'm just,
yeah.
We need a lot of the same people, I was like, why she's sitting all this positive stuff and, I'll get to it eventually. And then eventually happened sooner than I thought.
Yeah, right.
It was good. What? It was good.
The thing you said is about, we probably all know that we're hardwired for success.
Mm-hmm.
That stood out to me in what Tisha said. It's in us. It's rooted. We are rooted, and we know that we're meant for greatness. But we just don't know which direction to go. We don't know what to do first, right? We don't know what to do first. Should I, I know some people, they're like, go invest in marketing, and they don't really even have a plan yet. It's just, I'm going to get a marketer and put me all over the world, and everybody's going to see my face, and they're going to buy from me. That's not where you start. That's not where you start, and you need help and guidance to know where you start. You just don't know. And a lot of people feel like, I just have to have a plan. Once I have my plan together, then I'll come and work with you, Chandra, or, before they get started. And I'm like, that's what I help you with. I help you figure that out. You don't have to figure that out yourself and have a plan already before you come to me, right? This is what you get the support you need. You need to get the support. You need help. You need guidance. We all do. I needed it in order to grow, so take a chance on yourself, and you guys be able to do that.
Melody, and the sisterhood too.
Yes,
and the sisterhood that comes with Powerhouse is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yesenia said, Melody, you have a way of speaking, empowering. Consider being a speaker. She said she'll pay to listen to you. Yes.
Chandra, really quick, speaking to what you just said.
Yes.
I hesitated working with you because I didn't know what direction I was going in, and I felt like everybody that came to you already knew kind of where they were headed, and then from there you helped with the plan.
Yeah.
And I think one of the first things, or one of the first conversations that I had with you was like, I have no clue what I'm doing, where am I going? I have some ideas here and there along the way, but like, I don't have anything that I'm building off of. So, is this for me? And then here I am. Well, the course was, weeks.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, I'm like, I was telling my husband the other day, I'm like, I have a podcast. Like, what, who am I? Like, who do I think I am? But it really was, with the direction of you and like really helping me put a plan, and just realizing that, because a lot of times I questioned, would anybody even listen? And then you had really encouraged me to do a live. And somebody earlier mentioned, Danielle had mentioned when she was recording her video that she cried, so that she was like, I can't do that. And I feel that way a lot too. I don't want to be a crybaby because I'm a very emotional person. But I thought maybe at most, maybe like 30 people that are all related to me would see the live. And then I don't know, it was like over 300 people viewed it. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, like they said they got emotional. They felt where I was coming from. And so, being vulnerable with your emotions, I learned is okay. Because I'm always trying to like not show that side.
Yeah.
But just speaking to that, basically that, yeah, the emotion, the connection, the story is what people connect to the most.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that when you did that. You're like, nobody's going to watch. I'm like,
Well, you made me cry.
That made you cry during the live?
I was doing good. And then you said, tell them the name of the podcast and how you came up with the name.
Blast. Because you wouldn't say it. You were just talking. I'm having a podcast. Like, hello, give us the name.
Because I knew if I mentioned the name and explained how I came up with it, that I was going to cry.
Yeah.
And then I could have ignored your comment, but I don't know. As soon as you
sometimes I need to not go on my clients' lives. I really try to not do it on purpose because I know, depending on who it is, I might make you cry.
No, but that was important. I mean, it was important to say, like, what is the name of the podcast? And that's where I cried.
Yeah.
But that's what really kind of grabbed people's attention. And they were like, oh my God, I identify with that because so for the podcast is I Love Me Too. And I had talked about the fact that I was kind of at a crossroads in life. I didn't, I felt like going to work, coming home, and just like repeating the same cycle day in and day out is not how I want to live my life. And this can't be all that there is to it. And so I was having conversations with my husband around it, like, maybe I need a new job. That's going to make me happy. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm really seeking. So he was telling me that he was like, but you're a really good mom. The kids love you. You're a good wife. We love you. And I'm like, but I want to love me too. And so that's how the name came about. But in that moment, when you asked me, I was very emotional about it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people connected with that. So just, being vulnerable has its advantages because people, they can feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. As women entrepreneurs, or just as entrepreneurs in general, we feel we have to be stuffy and we have to be like, I have to show up looking perfect online, and I have to, sit up straight, and my words have to articulate, and I can't drop a tear. I can't get emotional. I can't get human. But honestly, the more human you are and the more relatable you are, the more people are going to want to work with you. Right? You just be authentic, be who you are, right? And people will connect. And the people that don't connect, they're not your people. But your people will connect with you. Okay? So welcome, Liz. I hope all your students are doing well and everybody's okay.
Sandra, can I share a little bit?
Yes, Magda, please.
So I never in a million years would have thought that I'd be sitting here chatting with all you ladies and Chandra. I had been stalking her for a couple of years. I've known her from the past. And I was just chatting with my friend because she texted me after my live and she's like, Magda, I am so proud of you. She's like, I don't know where this Magda's from, but I know you're like, she's my best friend. So of course she's going to say a million awesome things about me, right? So, But she's just, I think she's seen the transformation in just this short amount of time. She's like, did you ever think that last year, did you ever think that you'd be doing this? And I'm like, no, I would have never thought about a live. I would have never thought about a program. And so I was telling her that, I mean, being a mom of 4 little ones is super hard. And for me to be able to, you know, do this because I was feeling so anxious because of COVID, I mean, I just feel like I'm with my live. And I told you, Chandra, that I had it in my heart to share with people, and that if I inspired one woman, one mom to do something, then I had accomplished my mission. And so I feel like I am inspiring people, and it was about the program, but it wasn't about the program. It was, sorry, my little one is over here. This is, here I am, right here.
Hi, cutie.
It was about the program, but it wasn't about the program. It was me for a call of action, like to inspire just one person to go do something, right? And so I never would have even thought about that, like even at the beginning of the year, or I would have never thought about investing in myself. And so I don't know, I'm still like in awe that I'm here with all you.
But you know, I was watching your video today. I don't know if you guys seen me share it, but her video of her teaching her class, that her husband recorded of her doing it. And just, if you see her passion and how she's just like into it, and you just know that she's living in her gift. You know, that's one of her gifts, is to do that. And it's just an amazing video. It seemed like a real commercial, really. It seemed like a real commercial. And I've had, I don't know if you've seen the comments, but there was a few comments of people like, I want to do it. I want to do it. So if you get just a few of those comments just from one share, you got them, other people sharing it, you're getting more comments. Like, that's proof that people want this, right? That's proof that people need it. And you won't have that proof unless you put yourself out there, ladies. Unless you put yourself out there, scared, imperfect, a flyer, a video, your Facebook page, your website. Just take action and do it moving, and do it scared. Build your confidence, work on your confidence, work on the belief. I mean, but the action is going to bring the confidence. The action is going to bring the belief.
And I too was scared because I didn't think that my program or my idea was good. Wasn't even a program then, right, Chandra? It was an idea that I had for so long, and I didn't even think that my idea was good enough.
Yeah, I think you told me, you said, I wanted to come to your boot camp so you can tell me that my idea sucked. She wanted me to tell her that her idea wasn't good, so she couldn't do it, so she wouldn't do it.
I paid Sandra so she could tell me that, and she didn't.
Right. She paid me so I could tell her that her idea sucked.
Anyway, I just wanted to share that I'm just so blessed to have, you know, been part of the Powerhouse. I always wondered what it was like, and so here I am living it now, and still kind of in shock. So, yeah.
Yes. Well, anybody else have anything to share? I think that, you know, what I wanted to do is go over the mantra that you guys will all get. We're also gonna kind of turn this like into a book, all this content that I went over this week, so then you guys can review it and have it as well. So we'll probably send it to you like an ebook version of it that you have. And then this is going to be something that the Powerhouse is going to go through. Every Powerhouse is going to get this week of mind training before they start. And I think that, you know, like for some of the Powerhouses, do you think that taking this, if you took this before, you think it would have made a difference in how you moved in Powerhouse?
For me, yes. Because as you know, mindset was my hugest, making up words. Mindset was the biggest stumbling block for me, and what made me sit on a lot of things for a lot of years. Yeah.
And it will.
I agree.
So hopefully this will ignite some of you who have been sitting on something for a long time, right? Sitting on something for a long time. Leah, I want to hear from you. I'm like, who hasn't spoken yet? Who hasn't said anything? Leah, got you. What's up, girl?
One thing I'd like to share is, you know, earlier you were talking about how what we think about, we bring about. And when I guess I was in my mid-20s, and I used to say all the time, if it's not one thing, it's another. So that's the line that I fed myself. And if it wasn't one thing, it was another over and over and over again because I was constantly saying that. So that's what I focused in on. I didn't see any of the good things that were happening in life. It was just that life was hard. That's all I could see because I kept repeating that. I told myself at one point that I had a holiday curse because it seemed like every year at the holiday season, something would happen. And as soon as I started saying that, it was, but when I realized I have to stop talking to myself this way, this isn't helping me at all. When I stopped saying that, if it wasn't one thing, it's another. I started, the world opens up in a totally different way when you're not coloring it with all that negativity. So it's really just really important that we catch our words, that we pay attention to some of those patterns of how we speak to ourselves, because those words really do color everything from our actions to just the way that we feel, and can send you down a road that you never wanted to be on. So.
Yeah. So you were calling that in and you're manifesting that, right?
Yes.
You were manifesting that other, that one thing and the other was constantly coming to you. But no, that's good to just be aware of that, right? And watch our words and watch what we say, and not using that victim mentality of words of I came from this or I came from that. So, so really changing the way we think and say, yeah, I have had challenging times in my life, but this is the direction I'm going. And, my business is successful. I'm an expert at what I do, right? Those words of affirmations are very, it's kind of some people like, oh, say words of affirmation in the mirror, whatever. But it's true. We have to, right? We have to retrain, and reprogram our brains on what we think about ourselves. We have to do those things. So thank you, Leah.
Okay.
Thank you. So Leah, well, I'm not done with you yet. Wait a minute. What are you going to do differently when it comes to your life coaching business from this point on? What can you commit to?
I can commit to doing. Okay, this is going to be really hard because I don't like to be on video. I don't like to see.
Okay, we love you. We got your back.
I can commit to doing 2 videos a week, with the intention of it getting to where you're doing at least, what is it, a video a day that you should, I don't know if it should, but.
I mean, I don't anymore, but it'd be good, it's good to even twice a week is good. Once a week is good, to start, right? To get comfortable with it. But even just posting about your business, right? Posting about your business and just being creative and figuring out what the next step is going to be for your business.
The struggle I'm having with that is that I don't know where to go with it. It's like, I know that one-on-one coaching is, is one direction, but group coaching, when you're looking at, especially when you're looking at the money aspect, you can create, because I guess because I'm so brand new to this, I don't know what direction I'm supposed to go in. That's going to, and with all the things that I shared yesterday about, this person that I'm working with now, and I know that's not sustainable for me. And it's like the kick in the butt that I need to make a decision that I'm going to leave. So, and I need my business to be where I go, not the next place.
Yeah, maybe doing a pilot like Joy has, and maybe you and Joy can connect, and Joy can, share some thoughts with you on that and doing a pilot, so you can test it out. And that's why Joy's doing it, to kind of see who she likes to work with and who she doesn't. And that's so important. Like when you're starting out, when you can afford it, like when you have a job, and you're starting a business, is to do some pilots and do some testing and figuring out who you want to work, what type of person you want to work with, right? Who your ideal client is going to be, identifying that and be able to know exactly who that person is. So then you know who to sell to and you know who to market to directly, right? And then like who I want to work with and who I don't want to work. I don't want to work with these type of women that constantly complain and always have an excuse, or I want to work with women that want to change. Who look at the world in a more positive way, right? You just get more clear on that, and doing that. So I think that Joy will be helpful with you if you want to talk to her. Okay. Yeah, I know she would. To help
you, Joy.
Yeah, and I think I've coached you a little bit in the free group, right, too, on your ideal client and finding out who your ideal client is. And have you done any more work on that or thoughts about that?
I'm still torn if it's moms, and I think I'm getting in my own way with that. It's that whole idea of who's going to be able to pay that, it's not about money, but it's about money. I have to be able to live. So, And I always think of motherhood, I guess, because of my own experience being a young mom, and then the struggles that I went through. I didn't have money at the time, but then people will pay for what they, you know, we pay for what we want, we pay for what we feel we need, whatever the value is that we're, so no, I keep toggling back and forth. So.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Just that people want to pay, and just for everybody, people want to pay for the solution. They want to know what am I going to get out of this, right? What am I going to get at? That's the bottom line. They don't care how you're going to deliver it. They don't care what session their third session is going to be and the topic. They don't care about that. Tell me the results when I'm done with you, because I have a problem. Can you fix my problem? That's all they know. To think about everything that you purchased in your life, right? It was for a solution. It was to fix something, right? Usually, it's to buy it for a reason. So you're buying. Why would they want to purchase for you? When you're creating your program, when you're thinking about your ideal client, who is that person, and what problem are you fixing for them? Okay. And is it big enough? Is that problem big enough for them to buy? Right? Where they just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do that. I need help. Right? So when you're thinking about who your ideal client is, think about that. And also, it could be single moms that are professionals. You know, they have a job. They know they have a little bit of money to invest in themselves. Right? Some people, I've had people come to me and say, oh, I'm going to work with college students. I'm going to coach college students. I'll be like, college students eat ramen noodles, right, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They barely got 2 nickels to rub together. They're not going to pay you, right? So, you know, really got to think about that. Does my client have money to pay? It doesn't mean they got to be rolling in the dough, but like we said, people will buy the things that they need and they want. Even if they're struggling, even if they, you know, say they're struggling, they find a way to buy the Nikes, to buy the designer clothes, to buy the cars, to buy the whatever. They find a way, just like we all do, right? We really want something, we figure it out. Whether it's credit, whether, you know, whatever it is, borrow. People come up with money when they want to.
That's true.
Right.
I know I did when I wanted a certain type of coach or I needed to invest. I figured out the money. I found it.
Right.
I raised it. I sold things. I did different stuff. You know, I just made it happen. We make it happen. We make it happen. So people will make it happen. That's why you have to really solve a problem. You have to solve a problem. You have to solve a problem. So anyway, it's 8:28. Anything else, ladies? Let's go over this mantra and then we'll end the night. Okay. And I'm going to share my screen again. And I'll read it out loud. Put this thing out of my way. Okay. So this is our new mental constitution mantra. I really wanted a whole like mental constitution. I might still have that done, where it looks like a constitution and we have like our new new points of a constitution and sent to you guys. We'll see how we can design that and whatnot. But so this is our new mantra. I know there is a spirit of truth within that reveals my best self. And I know this spirit of divine love and perfect law enlightens my consciousness and awakens within me the knowledge of its meaning, the realization of its presence, and the power of its law. I am conscious that this universal it is an even present being to me and to every woman, because where the universe personifies, it becomes personal. Therefore, there is within me an immediate presence that I have allowed to reign supreme due to the rewriting of my mental constitution, giving the truth of my being the seat of authority in my government of self. It is the truth of me that God intended that is never weak, afraid, or hindered by circumstances. It is the me who is above and never below. It is the me who is the savior of many and provider of plenty. It is this real me that I seek to visualize in my thought, that I seek to embody in my consciousness. It is that me that cannot be sick, knows no lack, has no limitation, never suffered, want, and cannot experience fear. It is the presence of that which is perfect within me, in every function, in every organ, in every attribute, and every atom. In each cell, there vibrates the perfect divine wholeness. I am a house built for power. Yes, I am a powerhouse woman. That is our new mantra. That is your new mantra, and you will all get that. Okay, so you can put it on your wall, do whatever you need to do in order to see it. Did you have something to say, Magda, or you're just clapping? Is that a hand clap? That's it. Oh, okay. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions or anything before we end tonight?
Powerful. Yeah, that was great. That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys got something out of this, and I hope you just continue to grow. And, you know, if you need any help or anything, you have this group of women here now. You have the Facebook group, so utilize it. We won't close it down. We'll keep the videos in there so you can continue to watch them when you need it. And you can ask questions. You can go in there and practice your live videos. It's a good place to just to warm up some stuff in marketing. Ask questions, survey us. You know, you have that space to do that. All right, ladies? You good? Have a great Friday night and have a great weekend, okay? Talk to you soon.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye-bye.